But I guess it is still kind of. I mean, I thought there being no DQ and triple threats were like, I thought that was like common knowledge. But I can't even say that because I don't even know if like we know what the rules are some of the time because it's like different every single time.
It's WWE. They change the rules all the time. We just have to be used to it at this point.
Yeah. So, and then there was, and I guess as I said, there were three different people legal at all times. It was a pretty fast-paced match for the most part. The Iconics hit some good double-team moves together.
Bliss looked good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Alexa Bliss actually did pretty good in this, I thought. She would hit the Twisted Bliss on Peyton Royce, but then Sasha would get in the ring and just get the quick pin off of Alexa Bliss. Not a big fan of the way it ended. Just don't like the finish. But I thought it was a fun... good-paced opener, and Sasha and Bayley would retain the WWE Women's Tag Team titles. 8 minutes and 50 seconds. I'll give this a 3.
Yeah, I'll give it a 3. I liked it too. Like you said, good opener, quick paced. You had some Alexa. I actually thought Alexa did really good in this match. She looked really good. And then, like you said, some good moves. It was an okay opener.
It was fine.
It's a good spot for it.
So then they'd show the Universal Champion Braun Strowman arrive at the building in his car that Miz and Morrison had smashed up a couple of weeks ago on SmackDown. And then next we would have a singles match between Sheamus and Jeff Hardy.
Okay, so I want to talk about this before you do, if that's okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, as Cameron knows, and I'm sure I point out to the listener, and Cameron knows this. Cameron, who's my favorite wrestler of all time?
Brother Nero.
Yeah, absolutely. Jeff Hardy. No one's even close to Jeff Hardy. Cameron knows. In 2009, I was the biggest Jeff Hardy mark, in the world. So, and I still am. So, this match in particular, one, being a huge Jeff Hardy fan, if you're a Jeff Hardy fan, you obviously know about the struggles that Jeff has had.
Yes.
And, he's been clean for a little bit. He has had mix-ups. Not mix-ups. He has had mess-ups, over the course of him being clean. But he's been clean. And I am general, even though Jeff agreed with it, I really hate the storyline, just in general. Because it's like, we really don't need this with Jeff. Like, you don't need to put him back anywhere near that mindset from where he was. And not only that, it just doesn't make any sense from a storyline perspective to have a guy who has been sober and has had an alcoholic problem, had a pill problem, to make the storyline about that and make Sheamus exploit that, and then to have Sheamus go over is the stupidest fucking thing ever.
Yeah, I don't care what anyone thinks. This whole thing is garbage. I mean, as you said, using his struggles with addiction for the sake of a storyline. First of all, that first and foremost is just trash, and that's garbage.
Yeah.
But, I mean, this is something that he's dealt with for many years, and to this day, it's something that he still has to battle and, deal with every single day.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
he still gets DUIs sometimes and things like that.
Yeah, I guess they said as of, 2018, he had one. So, I mean, and the fact that they decided to use this for furthering a storyline and trying to sell people on a match to me is just flat out wrong. I think tasteless would actually be a good term to describe it.
It is, but it doesn't make any sense. If you're going to do the storyline, you have to have Jeff go over.
Yeah, I mean, they're probably going to do another match. It's going to be at Extreme Rules, and then then they're going to have all the weapons and stuff. So I mean, there's that. But still, but even then, it's you had Jeff Hardy and Sheamus. I mean, both guys have had Hall of Fame worthy careers, so you couldn't come up with anything else.
Exactly. That's my point.
Yeah, so that's the issue I have with it as well. I know there's other people who are like, oh, well, you're just soft. You don't understand the business. I hate that shit. It's this is his real life struggles that he's dealt with, and it's nothing to poke fun at or use for a storyline just to sell a match.
And the other thing is for Jeff,
especially at this point, my God.
Yeah. The other thing is, I know you don't necessarily like seeing Jeff compete anymore because you feel like he doesn't need to put his body through any more pain.
Mm-hmm.
But Jeff is still a good wrestler.
No, he's still good, and I guess what I mean by that is it's not that I don't want to see him. It's not like that. It's just it gets to the stage kind of where Well, I think Mick Foley was like the biggest example of them all. Like later on, it was hard seeing him.
In
like,
TNA?
Yeah, that was hard seeing that. Jeff, I still like seeing. It's just when he wrestles sometimes. It's not that I only enjoy like what he does. It's just because of all the punishment, as you said that you said that like I said. It's just because of that. It's hard to see sometimes, and just for me. But I mean, obviously, I don't dislike Jeff. I really like Jeff. He's another one of my favorites as well. But getting into the match, started out both guys would kind of go at each other. And then Sheamus would take control for a while. He'd rub his forearm in the Jeff's face. I guess rubbing against his face paint, rubbing some of it off. And then Jeff would make his comeback. He'd jump off the stairs. And then he'd stop himself from using the stairs as a weapon, risking the disqualification. And then that would allow Sheamus to go over the top and then dump Hardy over the turnbuckle into the ring post. And then, where would it go next? Oh yeah, that right there would take a lot out of Hardy, and then Sheamus would begin to take more control. And then Hardy would keep finding a way to kick out of everything Sheamus would throw at him. Then Hardy would hit the Whisper in the Wind, and the comeback would begin to come. He'd hit the Whisper in the Wind, but he'd be unable to get the pin off of that. And then he would be knocked off the top rope and would have a awkward fall.
Yeah.
Then Hardy would continue to stay in the match. Sheamus hit the white noise, and he'd kick out of that. And then he would eventually hit the Swanton Bomb, but then Sheamus would get his foot on the bottom rope.
He'd also hit the Twist of Fate before the Swanton Bomb.
Oh, yes. Good point. And then Sheamus would hit the bro kick on the outside of the ring. Hardy was running against the. He was running at Sheamus, and then he ran into the barricade. And then back in the ring, he would score the pin.
Yeah, overall, just a very a weird finish to the match because obviously I think Jeff should have won, but. I didn't really like this. Just because of the storyline, it didn't matter how good. I mean, the match was okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what did you give the match?
Like 2 3/4.
Yeah, I'll give it a 3 just because I liked it a bit more than you did.
I would have given it I would have given it a higher rating. I just didn't like that Jeff didn't win.
Mm-hmm. I'll still give it a 3 though. But yeah, obviously it wasn't great.
But it's been like that for me though. Like where a finish can really I mean, it'll be like that later in the show, too. But it's like a finish can just make or break it. Because I remember, this was completely different, but I remember we did a show back in February. It was No Way Out 2001. And there was a 3 Stages of Hell match with, Triple H and Stone Cold Steve Austin. And the match was, amazing. It was, about 5 stars. But then it was, that was, the No Way Out. And Austin had won the Rumble. He was gearing to face The Rock at WrestleMania. And then they had Triple H win. Which was strange, because why would you have, the guy who won the Rumble going into Mania, losing, in such a big match? So then, it became, a 4 3/4 match for me.
Because it's Triple H.
Yeah, and then he had the match at The Undertaker, but it's, there's the match at The Undertaker, and there's, the main event of WrestleMania against The Rock for the world title. Which one do you think is more important? But that's just how I feel with that. So, following this, Miz and Morrison...
The streak didn't even really matter at that point.
Well, no. I don't even think they're aware that there was even, a streak.
Mm-hmm. But we don't need to talk about the streak.
So, following this, Miz and Morrison would be backstage for an interview, and apparently neither one of them realized that only one of them could be the Universal Champion. God, I can't stand this feud.
That was stupid. That made what are they going to be fucking lay cool and separate the belts?
Co-champions?
It made no sense to me. They were like, what? We can't be co-champs? It's like, you guys are idiots. Moving on from this stupid program.
Then Otis and Mandy would appear, and Otis would say that no matter who wins and becomes champion, he might just cash in Money in the Bank. Translation, he's not going to cash it in.
I forget Otis has the contract every week until I see him.
I do too.
He is the most forgettable Money in the Bank. Every other Money in the Bank winner, I remember they have it, and I'm waiting for them to cash in. I forget Otis has the belt, has the briefcase every week.
Yeah, me too. But has there ever been a time outside of like a guy saying he's going to cash it in, like, and they're going to have like a full on match, has there ever been a time where a guy said, "Oh, I might just cash this in," and he actually goes ahead and does it?
No, it's always out of nowhere.
Oh my gosh. So the next we would have the Raw Women's Championship on the line. It'd be Asuka defending against Nia Jax.
Yeah, I think we just need to be happy that Nia didn't hurt Asuka in this match. That's always positive whenever you have a Nia match. She didn't get hurt. I'm happy Asuka won.
Well, she didn't win.
Oh yeah, sorry. Sorry, my bad. I meant to say I'm not. Sorry, I messed that up.
Well, she retained the title, but she did not win.
Yeah. I meant to say I'm happy she retained. To say, I just don't. I want Asuka to drop it to Shayna. That's what
I would have wanted to.
I want Asuka to drop it to Shayna.
And I don't think that's going to happen. But
no, because apparently Vince doesn't like Shayna because he's a old man who doesn't understand modern day wrestling. But it's the whole thing with Nia is I've grown to not be a fan of her over our time, just because she's hurt. I mean, Nia has hurt so many people. Nia's hurt Kairi Sane so many times. It's like
Kairi Sane. Yeah.
Sorry, Jesus, I'm so mad at her. I can't even think. Look what she did to Becky. I mean, even the last injury she had with Sane, where she threw her into the steps and busted her open.
Yeah.
Like really? And then the buckle bomb. They had to ban the buckle bomb because Nia didn't know how to do it.
Yeah. No, I think some people suggested developmental, maybe just send her back just for a little, just to fix some of this stuff. I mean, yeah, they got to do something. But, so Asuka would lock Nia in the octopus stretch early in the match, but she'd get tossed off and then hit with a clothesline. Then Nia was in control for a good portion of the match. There was also the point where she would hit I guess what was supposed to be like a jackhammer. And that didn't look great.
I just think Nia, in my opinion, regardless of her hurting people, she's not that good anyway.
No, I mean, maybe, but I guess my thing is like, in terms of like the injuries and stuff like that could be fixed.
Oh, no, absolutely.
That could be fixed.
You stick her developmental for a little bit and you actually develop her and stuff like that. That can be fixed easily. But the thing that is tough for me is that I think she's in terms of being like the monster of the division, she's great at that.
Yeah.
I think she's great at that, and I think some more time in developmental could really help her actually become like a big asset to them.
Yeah, I mean, there were some sloppy moments throughout the match, but eventually this would result in like the referee was counting, and neither one of them were able to make it back in the ring for the 10 count, so it would just end in a double count out on pay-per-view. I'm sick of count-out finishes. I'm sick of DQ finishes. I'm really over DQ finishes in 2020. But I guess this was done as a way to protect both people. That's what they always...
Well, no, they're going to explain that we need extreme rules because it will end with a winner.
Oh, yeah, this isn't over.
Yeah, we're going to see an extreme rules match.
Yeah,
I don't know what kind of extreme level. Knowing WWE, will probably be like a chairs match, but...
Maybe I don't know what the stipulation will be, but either way, it's like, obviously it's going to continue. I mean, I don't remember a feud ever ending in a double count out, but I could be surprised. I think it'll be fine. But so winner, there would be no winner.
Ends in a double count out. That's the stupidest fucking thing ever.
Yeah. So no winner, double count out. So I guess it's like essentially a draw, but Asuka would retain the title. And this is like her first title defense too. So what a waste. 8 minutes and 25 seconds. 2.25 out of me.
I'm just gonna give it 2.
So the next we would have the 2-on-1 handicap match for the Universal Championship. It would be Braun Strowman defending against The Miz and John Morrison.
So going into this, I think we've agreed. So here's the thing. with me, and Cameron knows this, I try to have a more positive outlook on what WWE does.